first time I've engaged with a forum of this breadth in a seminar by clause. And every time I do, I am reminded that India's greatest strategic asset is not any single platform or policy, it's the quality of minds committed to getting it right. The theme before us today asks a deceptively simple question: how does a nation convert its security into sustained prosperity? What does it mean? How should we align with Viksit Bharat 2047? How's Indian Army's decade of transformation integrating into it, wherein era of technology absorption were 2024 and 25, and of course, era of networking and data centricity as brought out by DG Clause for 26 and 27, where there are three pillars which have been identified. First pillar is digital networking, second is data centricity, and the third one is networking or the physical networking. And what I see here, these stakeholders today, I think all the three pillars are being addressed in today's discussion. So I must thank you all for that, and especially Director Claus. So 12 months ago, Bharat offered the world a partial answer to so-called smart power question. On the intervening night of 2006-7, that is 6th and 7th May 2025, Bharat acted in a precisely defined 22-minute operational window. Operation Sindoor delivered military precision, information control, diplomatic signaling, and economic resolve as one coherent national act. It struck deep, dismantled terror infrastructure, punctured a long-standing strategic assumption, and then stopped, deliberately and purposefully. The deliberate halt after 88 hours was smart power in its most complete expression, knowing exactly which instrument to apply, at what intensity, and precisely when to convert a military movement into a strategic one. Today, the world around us is sending a more complex signal: disorder, distrust, and dichotomy in alliances. We were promised a world where prosperity would make power politics obsolete. Remember Fukuyama, end of history 1992. Instead, we have a world where power politics is being used to reorganize prosperity. So the question I leave with this distinguished gathering: is smart power the defining currency of sustained national growth? Or has the raw calculus of hard power once again reclaimed the center stage of the global order? But to answer it, we must first read the word as it is, not as we wish it to be. The 21st century opened with a confident thesis that forces of trade, supply chains, and digital connectivity would make nations too interdependent to conflict. Paradoxically, same forces that promised binding nations together have progressively become instruments of coercion. Semiconductors and their selective availability have become tools for hedging. The Strait of Hormuz has become a zone of active contestation. Global defense spending has crossed $2.7 trillion, exceeding the entire UN budget for sustainable development goals. The boundary between security and prosperity is no longer a boundary at all. Contemporary conflicts now impose sustained demands not only on armed forces, but also on industrial production, research systems, and governance structures. Security is no longer a cost that prosperity must bear. It is the precondition for prosperity to commence its progressive journey. So in this world, fractured, fast-moving, and unforgiving, what must be the architecture of India's smart power? Joseph Nye, who gave the concept of smart power, described it as the strategic intelligence to know which instrument to deploy at what intensity and towards what end. For India, it means using national strength with strategic wisdom to secure peace, accelerate growth, and shape the global environment in our favor. Allow me to offer a strategic design to navigate present geostrategic landscape, wherein the interplay of DIME, added T, that is technology, and whole of nation approach, which is an imperative today. I'll use the word SMART, that is the acronym, not as a management construct, but a living framework for how we must think, prepare, and act in the world we now confront under the umbrella of new normal of hard power. So starting with S, statecraft. In a word that rewards those who simultaneously operate across DIME construct, we must master the art of deploying each instrument of national power with precision and coherence. The demand is for the whole of nation statecraft towards a single national purpose. The theme of strategic autonomy is not isolation or exclusion, but mutual inclusion and freedom to engage with all. Mike, Mango, that is manufacturing depth. As supply chains fragment and technology access get leveraged, if not weaponized, a nation that cannot produce what it needs will eventually lose the ability to decide what it wants. We must build a defense industrial base that is not merely self-sufficient but strategically competitive, converting national security requirements into industrial capacity and ultimately into export leverage. Indian Army's focus on Atmanirbharta or self-reliance, 83% of capital expenditure, 91% ammunition, 97% special clothing is helping foster an entire manufacturing ecosystem from components to high technology finished products, including for exports. Third is A, Alpha, accelerated innovation as part of Prime Minister's clarion call of JAY, that is jointness, Atmanirbharta and innovation. In today's conflicts, the cycle from lab to battlefield has compressed from decades to months. Innovation that cannot scale is innovation that arrives too late. The pipeline from idea to prototype exists. The unfinished agenda is to move from experimentation to enterprise scale impact in AI, cyber, quantum, autonomous system, space, and advanced materials that modern warfare demands. Dual-use research and development ecosystem has to be synergistically upgraded with clear government support to private players besides academia and government research establishments. The fourth of SMART is R, Romeo, that is resilience. The most sophisticated form of strategic vulnerability today is not military inferiority. It is dependence on foreign supply chains, critical minerals, and digital infrastructure. Resilience means systematically eliminating those dependencies not as an economic preference but as a security imperative. It involves strategic partnership with like-minded nations, as also encourage government strategic partnership with level 1 industries for sustainable production lines. And mind you, at this point of time, India is also looking at startups, MSMEs, and others to come out with low-cost, high-technology solutions. The last one is Tango, T, technology primacy. Whoever commands the technology stack in the next decade will tend to command the conflict outcomes. We must not merely absorb emerging technologies. We must indigenize, operationalize, and lead in them. As they say, the follower pays the price, the leader sets the terms. I am hopeful that our troika of industry, academia, military will deliver the desired first mover advantage and ensure technology disruptions must not become strategic vulnerability. As I draw to a close, let me touch upon what are the anchors that must hold this smart power architecture in place, especially when the winds shift, as they always do. It rests on 4 pillars of conviction: Atmanirbharta, capability built from within, leverage earned, no strategic dependency accepted; Atmaraksha, security as a whole of nation, whole of domain enterprise; Atma Sahyog, the troika of academia, industry, and military moving in rhythm; Atma Nishchay, strategic autonomy as a living practice, decisions taken on a national merit, free from alliance compulsion, anchored in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, engaging all with equal ease and captured by none. So we have a framework, we have anchors. What we need is the will to move. fast, together, and without hesitation. It's not the need for more frameworks, but for the urgency to act within ones we have at the speed this moment demands. History does not wait for those who are ready. It rewards those who are already moving. Bharat is moving. The question is, are we moving fast enough? And I must quote Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, peace is not absence of strength. Peace is the presence of capability, confidence, and resolve. Thank you and Jai Hind.
राजनीति हो या क्रिकेट, देश विदेश की ब्रेकिंग हो या आपके मोहल्ले की बड़ी खबर, सब मिलेगा एक ही ऐप में, सबसे तेज और भरोसेमंद। अभी डाउनलोड करें दैनिक भास्कर डिजिटल।